What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of Days, Eve is in trouble. Eve has pretty much damn near everybody in Salem gunning for her. Like, Hope and Eli are basically trying to build the case against her. And I don't blame them, because obviously they want her out as police commissioner. Badly. I mean, she's just abusing her power and her authority. But it is kind of hypocritical on Hope's part, because when Hope was police commissioner, she abused her power too. Hell, even when Roman was police commissioner, he abused his authority. You know, it's not uncommon for police commissioners to do that. They all have done it at some point or another. You know, when they had a relative or a friend commit a crime, they would look the other way or do whatever, you know, to protect their family and their friends. So I don't agree with what Eve's doing, though. I really don't. I mean, my thing is, I totally understand her hatred for Ben. She has every right to hate this guy. I mean, he murdered her daughter. You know, he gets to walk around scot-free and live his life and be in a relationship and all that good stuff, but her daughter is never coming back because of him. So I don't blame her for wanting him to pay some type of consequence for that. I agree he should. But she shouldn't do it in a corrupt way. You know what I'm saying? Find a legal way to bring Ben down. Not plant evidence or use a mentally unstable girl to do your bidding. You know what I mean? Like, it was just trifling. And I don't blame everybody in town for being pissed off. Like, Eve used that girl. Like, she saw Claire was unraveling at the seams. She saw that. She saw it. And she did nothing to stop it. She did nothing to help that girl. Absolutely nothing. She saw that she was just, you know, spiraling out of control. She didn't warn anybody. She didn't go to Hope. She didn't go to Marlena. You know what I mean? You didn't try to contact her parents. She did nothing. But yet she tries to act like she genuinely cares about this girl. If you genuinely cared about Claire, you would have got her some help and stopped these shenanigans. But of course, she didn't do any of that, because Claire was basically helping her frame her enemy. And that's all she saw was her hatred for Ben. So of course, she wasn't going to stop Claire. I don't blame Sierra and Marlena for, you know, bashing her the way that they do and stuff like that, you know, but Marlena's a bit more classy, because as hard as Sierra was trying to go on Eve, I agree with Marlena. Doing it in Claire's hospital room was not the time or the place. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't, you know. Their focus should be solely on Claire right now and getting her some help. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. Basically, Claire got a break. You know, she's not going to have to go through a criminal trial. She's going to go to Bayview. And she's basically going to have to stay in there until, you know, the doctors say that she's, you know, okay. Basically, say that she's mentally fit. But I think it's a good thing for her. You know, she's seeking help. She's apologizing to everybody. You know, she wasn't in her right mind when she was doing all this stuff. You know, she was just sent off the deep end. Now, it doesn't excuse her behavior trying to kill her own family member and, you know, doing everything that she did. But, you know, at least she's getting the help that she's getting. That's the first step. Because she has a long road ahead of her. A long road. But I'm glad that pretty much all of her victims, everybody was forgiving of her, because they all played a part in her mental decline as well. You know, they might try to put, you know, you can't put the blame all on Claire. They contributed, especially Tripp and Haley. You know, they contributed to that. Like, when Tripp and Haley got fake married or whatever, they basically kicked Claire out of her own home. You know, basically wanted her to leave the loft and stuff like that. A home that she lived in before the both of them. So it wasn't fair, you know. A lot of people kind of did her dirty in a way. So I can understand why she just spiraled out of control. You know, I think a lot of people, including herself, obviously, they all played a part in it, some form or fashion, including Sean and Belle. I felt like Sean and Belle were never fully there for her since she's been in Salem. I understand, you know, Claire's an adult and stuff like that, you know, so they thought she was good and she was around other family members. So they thought, she was fine. But as you're her parents. You're supposed to be there for her physically more than what they were, and they just weren't. So I'm happy that they're there now, and they're going to be there in the foreseeable future. But they should have been there before. Maybe they could have seen this earlier or whatever, seen her behavior changing, and could have put a stop to it. Maybe, but what's done is done. But the best part is they're rallying around her now, and she's getting help that she needs now. So that's more important. So I don't blame Eli and Hope. They're trying to build the case against her, against Eve, and Claire's cell phone went missing. I guess it was supposed to be an evidence lockup. Of course Eve is going to try to cover her tracks. I'm not surprised. She's not trying to lose her job and be brought up on criminal charges. Of course she got rid of the evidence, that linked her to all of this mess. Of course she did. Hope and Eli are just going to have to work harder and smarter to catch her. That's all they're going to have to do. They're just going to have to outwit her and outplay her. Because trust, Eve is not, I'm not surprised. Eve is not going down without a fight. She's definitely not. If they think it's going to be easy to take her down, you got another thing coming. It's not going to be that easy and that simple. I felt bad for Victor. Victor, he's emotional about the whole situation. He got his great-granddaughter trying to kill his granddaughter and stuff. It's a lot to digest. But Victor, suggesting that he basically put Claire in a private jet and get her out the country, I'm not surprised Victor had that thought, but I'm glad John basically talked some sense into him and let him know that's not going to help the situation. All it's going to do is make matters worse, which is true, because then Claire would have been a fugitive, and she would have never been able to come back to Salem, see her family. Never. She would have always been a fugitive. But of course, I don't blame John for snitching on Eve, and Victor let John know. He was like, if the cops don't handle Eve, he will. I don't blame him, because Victor is nothing to play with. That's one person you do not want to double cross, is Victor. And Victor already don't like Eve. He already can't stand her. So this is just the cherry on top, basically. She messed with his great granddaughter. He's not going to let that slide. If the cops don't build the case and arrest her, Victor surely will handle her. And Victor, cold-blooded to the core. I don't care how old Victor get. Victor, he's always going to have that cold-heartedness in him. You might, over the years, Victor has mellowed out, but he still has that ruthlessness inside. And that's one thing Eve does not want to have to deal with, because Victor don't play no games. But it is kind of funny, though, seeing Ben act all high and mighty and stuff like that. Basically, Ben is kind of gunning for Eve as well. Ben was like, I'm going to take Eve, we're going to take Eve down. I don't know. I like Ben and Sierra together, but he's going to have to do a little bit more to get that redemption. You did strangle Will, basically killing him. You murdered other people, Serena, Paige, you try to frame Chad for all these murders. Well, his father, him and his dad try to basically frame Chad for all these killings. So it's going to take a little bit more for Ben to be fully redeemed. You know what I mean? But most of the people in Salem have murdered people, gotten away with murder. They've all done some heinous things, so he's in good company. Haley and Tripp, I still don't care nothing for them, at all. I'm happy that Haley gets to stay in the country and stuff like that while she gets her visa. Hopefully she can get her job back at Salem University Hospital. Hopefully. But other than that, I don't see the point of them. I really don't. Because I heard that Haley and JJ were supposed to be moving into the loft or whatever. I don't see why. JJ has his own apartment, so them moving into the loft, I don't see the point. But overall, though, I enjoyed this episode. It sucks that, they sent Claire down this road, but it's a good thing she's getting better. Her and Sierra are trying to mend their relationship. And I like the conversation that Sierra and Claire had, where basically they both admitted that they were both jealous of each other for different reasons. it's kind of funny because Sierra was jealous of Clear because every time she visited Clear, Clear would basically be living this nice life where she's traveling around the world, you know, doing that type of stuff, especially at a younger age. And Clear was jealous of Sierra because Sierra had this stable home life. You know, she had 2 parents, 1 home, 1 city, 1 state, wasn't traveling from place to place. You know what I'm saying? She just had that, you know, that stable lifestyle. And that's what Clear always wanted. You know, so they were both envious of each other for different reasons. And it's cool that they made amends, you know. Because I feel bad that they, you know, Marlena and Hope had to basically, you know, and John had to watch their granddaughter be carted off to some psychiatric facility. You know, I know that's hard to watch, but at least she's getting help, and hopefully she'll come back bigger and better, which I'm sure she will. But overall, I enjoyed this episode, though. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I will see y'all all later. Have a good day. Peace.